The first style we're going to go ahead and start with is the drop shadow. I'm going to move this here to the side so we can see what's going on. You click drop shadow, and as you can see, that's already applied a default drop shadow for us here. Now, on the right, you have your options for this drop shadow. You've got your blending mode, which tells the layer style how to interact with the layers below it. You've got your opacity to control how opaque or transparent the shadow is, as you can see. As you increase it, you get a more solid shadow. You've got an angle. This is the angle of the light coming in that casts the shadow, the simulated light. As you can see, it's coming here from the top left and going to the bottom right. And as you can see, our shadow here is cast on the bottom right. This global light check mark, if this is checked, for every other layer style that has this checked, it will use the exact same light settings. So that way everything will kind of match up together. I generally leave this unchecked. You can always set them manually to be the same, but if you want them a little bit different, then you don't have to worry about accidentally messing something up with the entire lighting setup. Alright, you have your distance, which is the distance of the shadow from the object, which, as you can see, simulates the object being farther from its surface. You have size and spread. Size, well, it changes the size of the shadow. Basically makes it simulate the light being closer to the surface of your object, so the shadow would actually extend out farther from each side. So if we increase our size, as you can see, it gets very blurry. It's like a gradient here. But that's where the spread comes in. Our spread will now start to solidify that shadow, and then you really get the effect that your light is right up here on top, so it's casting a shadow out on all sides. I'm going to bring those back down for now. Okay, we're going to go ahead and skip over the quality box here for now, and just jump over to this checkbox that says Layer Knocks Out Drop Shadow. Now what this will do, I'll show you because it's easier to tell by showing. If we go into our blending options here, this fill opacity is the opacity of the original object. So if we lower that down to 0 to make it transparent, you can see it doesn't affect the style's opacity. That is up here in the general blending. So with this layer knocks out drop shadow checked, you can see that that layer here still knocks out the rest of that shadow. So you still see that it looks like there's some sort of shadow here, that there's some object here. Now if you uncheck this box, you get the entire shadow there, regardless of the object itself. So that can be combined in a few ways to make some interesting effects.